Your 20s are often called the defining decade for a reason. The decisions you make now will set you up for the rest of your life. Habits compound over time in your 20s. If you develop discipline now, whether it's in your career, your health, your finances, it will be easier to maintain within your 30s, your 40s for the rest of your life. And, small, consistent actions over time will have a much bigger impact than sudden drastic changes later in life. On the flip side, bad habits such as procrastination, lack of self control, and unnecessary spending also compound, making it hard to change when you get older. So it's best to avoid. The cost of waiting is huge. Many people think they have time to figure things out later. While you don't have to rush, delaying personal growth, financial responsibility, or career development can lead to playing catch up in your 30s. And time is honestly your biggest asset in your 20s. The earlier you invest in yourself, mentally, physically, and financially, the more benefits you'll reap later. In your 20s, your identity is still forming. This is time where you can just try to figure out who you are and who you want to be instead of blindly following what society expects. So, going to college, getting a corporate job, getting married, just take time to reflect on what truly matters to you. And, this is a huge problem now. There are so many bad and wrong influencers. And whether it's social media pressure, so just influencers on social media, just bad friends, or just social norms, they can push you into choices that don't align with your long-term happiness. So I want to get into, career. This is a learning phase in your 20s. Like in your 20s, your career shouldn't be about getting rich fast. It should just be about building skills, experience, and connections. The first job really doesn't define you. Many people stress over getting the perfect first job, but your 20s are about exploring different roles and industries. Most successful people didn't stay in their job forever. They pivoted based on their experience and self discovery. And you need to consider skills over salary. A higher salary doesn't always mean a better opportunity. Focus on learning valuable skills, such as public speaking, negotiation, problem solving, any technical skills, leadership, because those will take you further than just chasing a paycheck. The first few years are about building your resume, your network, and your credibility. And honestly, networking matters more than you think. Who you know is often more important than what you know. The best opportunities often come from personal connections rather than job applications. I'm sure a lot of you have not got that job from LinkedIn. It's been from a personal connection. I know certainly that's been my case. A lot of my jobs that I've gotten, internships and such, have been from personal connections. And it's important just to not be afraid to reach out and ask questions and learn from the people that are in the place that you want to be at. And in your 20s, you have to worry about the danger of complacency. If you get too comfortable too soon, you're going to be stagnant. You're not going to make any progress. And you just need to try to keep learning, keep improving, and don't settle for a job because it's easy. So again, your career is a learning phase. This is a time for you to build skills, and then you can leverage them later to make a lot of money. So next thing I want to touch on is, in your 20s, you need to fail, and failure is inevitable, but you need to fail forward. Most people are too scared to take risks because they fear failure, but your 20s are the best time to fail, learn, and just try new things. Why failing now is better than failing later? The reason why failing now is better than failing later is because the older you get, the more responsibilities you have. You have a family, you have a mortgage, you have kids. It's harder to take risks when you have a lot of people depending on you. So it's best to do it while you're young. And, in your 20s, you just have a lot fewer obligations. So it's a time to start to experiment and take risks. And there's a lot of lessons that come from failure, not just success. Every person has a list of failures behind them. They're not making 100% of the shots they take. They have a lot of failures. And honestly, you learn more from rejection, mistakes, setbacks, more than you do just easy win. You know, a lot of people let the fear of judgment hold them back. Many people avoid risk because they fear what others will think. And the truth is, no one cares as much as what you think they do. Most people are too busy worrying about their own lives to really care what you are doing. Don't let it hold you back. Just take the risk. And you know, actions, they beat overthinking. Overthinking leads to paralysis by analysis. It's just, I'm sure you guys have heard of this. It's just when overthinking instead of just taking action. You're trying to analyze every single situation instead of just taking action, every single outcome. And it's better to start something and adjust along the way than just like wait for the perfect time. Because that time, it won't ever come. There's never going to be a perfect time. You will always think there's going to be a better time, and it just won't ever get done. And you know, going off failures, it's a stepping stone to success. So it is okay to fail, but you need to fail forward. In your 20s, time moves so quickly, it moves so fast, so it's best just not to waste it. And honestly, one of the biggest lies people believe in their 20s is that they have plenty of time. Your 20s will fly by faster than you think. One day, you're 21 with endless possibilities, and the next, you're 29, wondering where the time went. And if you don't take control now, you'll wake up in your 30s wishing you had started earlier. You know, I'll say autopilot is very dangerous. Many people get stuck in a cycle where they wake up, go to work, scroll on social media, and repeat. They're just doing the same thing over and over and over. And if you're not careful, years will pass without intentional growth. So just reflect on what you're doing daily and make sure that it does align with your long-term goals. You know, in your 20s, social media can be your enemy. Watching other people's highlight reels can make you feel like you're behind, which leads to procrastination or comparison. And instead of wasting those hours just consuming content, focus on creating something for your future. Focus on your life. Quit being so interested in someone else's life. It's important to balance the present enjoyment with future participation. Your 20s are about both living and preparing. So have fun, travel, meet new people, but don't neglect your career, finances, and health. And just avoid the extremes. Living only for today and regretting it later, or overworking without enjoying life. So yeah, guys, your 20s will not last forever. But the one thing I can say is that the choices you make during this decade will stick with you for the rest of your life. So just be intentional and please take action and just don't let the decade slip away. You can have a lot of compounding growth in your 20s and you can set yourself up for life. So yeah, guys, I hope you found value in this video, and I hope you can like and subscribe and comment your thoughts down below. I'm Seabear, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.